July 1944, Joe Matera was practicing landing his F-6 Hellcat on his carrier. And although initially cleared to land, he was waved off at the last moment. Joe pulled up as hard as he could, but unfortunately flipped the plane over and into the water, heading for the bottom. He was barely able to get out of the cockpit and pull the lanyards of his life preserver. Those on the ship later told him that he popped completely out of the water. The carrier, however, kept going, and Joe was picked up by a destroyer that saw the crash. Joe was also later told that the skipper of the carrier was overheard saying, "There is one plane and pilot not going to Tokyo." Joe was transferred to the carrier the next day when a buddy noticed he still had his pistol. He suggested that Joe keep it as a souvenir and write it off as a combat loss. Joe thought it was a good idea and brought the paperwork to his boss. His boss first told him he was glad he wasn't killed and that he was sorry he left him in the water. Joe then apologized for losing the aircraft. His boss told him not to worry, we'll lose more later. His boss then picked up the paperwork on the pistol and said, "You know, these guns have serial numbers on them, and if one were to later to be found involved in an incident, it would be traced back to you." Joe said, "Syria got me. I'll withdraw the paperwork." His boss then said, "I knew you'd do the right thing." And Joe later flew combat missions in a